Good morning. Today is April 6th, 2021, and I wanted to just talk about how society is turning on each other. I know it's not the type of stuff I usually talk about, but it seems like it's getting pretty ridiculous how everybody's treating each other. Last week, for instance, there was a woman in New York City who got beat up out on the sidewalk, right? And the video that they show of it, if you look it up on YouTube or wherever, is from a surveillance camera inside a store. Now there's 2 or 3 men standing inside the store that don't do a fucking thing. They stand there and watch. One even goes and closes the door so that the guy won't come inside. So now you've got, I don't remember how old she was, 65, 70, something like that. Your old woman getting her head stomped on the concrete outside, and these guys just staring, watching, not doing anything. Why? Who knows? Maybe it's the culture that we've created. Everybody's so afraid to get involved with everything because they don't want to get in trouble. It's pretty stupid. There is actually something called the bystander effect, which is when people are watching a situation happen, an emergency, whatever, and they weigh out, they do the cost benefit analysis in their head, and they choose to not do anything because the cost is too high from what they would gain. It has nothing to do with the other person or the other person's safety, solely to do with how it affects them. Okay. The other part of the bystander effect is the more people that are standing around and watching, the less likely they are to do anything to help. Everybody will pass the buck. It's not how we're supposed to be. Especially us men should never watch a fucking woman getting beat up out on the sidewalk or go close the door because they're worried about the guy coming inside. Really? I don't know what's going on with this culture, but it's getting ridiculous. There's another group of people where you hear about this kind of stuff pretty often, and that's in the drug addicts. People that overdose. Somebody's doing heroin, doing fentanyl, whatever. They overdose. They just leave their friends because they're worried about getting in trouble. I've heard lots of stories of people just rolling the people out of the car into a ditch, or driving up to the emergency room and rolling them out onto the sidewalk and hoping somebody finds them because they're so worried about getting in trouble. This is stuff we need to change. This isn't okay. We're supposed to stand up for and help each other. I had a friend of mine just this last weekend, was leaving from getting his taxes done, and another car pulled in the parking lot and pulled around a tow truck that was in the middle of the road. Whatever he did pissed the tow truck driver off. The guy pulls into the parking lot, starts apologizing, yelling across the parking lot, apologizing to the tow truck driver. The tow truck driver grabs a metal strap and starts walking over towards this guy, like in a fit of road rage. The guy's apologizing. Tow truck driver's just yelling obscenities. And my friend feels similarly to how I do. Found like it was his spot to try and intervene at some degree. Not to harm the tow truck driver, but just to calm the situation. And he's telling the tow truck driver, dude, the guy's saying sorry, knock it off. Then the guy starts coming towards my friend. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then the guy starts coming towards my friend, threatening him. What do you do in those situations? Unfortunately, it worked out okay. But if nobody would have gotten involved, who knows what that tow truck driver would have done in his fit of road rage to this other guy who was obviously apologetic at his mistake. But people don't want to get involved. How are we supposed to be helping each other, bettering our society? What happens when everything in society fails? There's nothing left. Maybe the government collapses, whatever. We're all left back to the old ways. What are we going to do? How are we going to help each other if this is how we feel? If everybody is so hateful towards each other, how are we ever going to survive? If we can't get along now when things are actually decent, how are we going to do when everything's fucked up? Just something to think about. Don't sweat the petty things. Don't pet the sweaty things. Have a great day. I love you guys.